Hey folks, good morning. It's Phil, the miniature model maker, coming to you today with the high new. So, Model 3 number 3 in Series 1. We're halfway through today, which is pretty exciting. This is a 50, almost 60 part kit, and there's some details to it that it may take a little bit longer to build today. So this might be a part one of two build rather than the full build like I did with the one yesterday with the EXS. But I'm excited about this one. It's fun. I have already done a test build with the duplicate and tried some different things. Done a bit of scribing on it just to see how it's going to go. But yeah, we're going to get in on this. This is maybe, I think, probably one of the most popular after the Nightingale in Series 1. So look forward to this. And give me just a moment. Let's see if I can find a little something here since it is likely just going to be me. Maybe I can find a way to share this and send it to Paul's Discord. That might be fun. So we're gonna see, because it'd be nice to have folks in to talk to while I'm doing this. Is the going live only for him? Yes, it is. So for those of you watching later, I follow a content maker called Paul is Bad at Stuff. He does 40K Gundam gaming stuff. He's got a pretty active Discord, and I want to see if I can put this in. Content stuff. Content. That's probably just for him. Video discussion. Your content. Hey, folks. Okay, that's done. We'll see if anybody shows up. Close this. Here we are. All right, and we have. So yesterday I tried something new. That pun's gonna get old very quick. So no new old puns. I tried dry brushing this to see if it would show up on camera better, and it didn't really work as well as I had hoped. So I stripped it overnight, but it also looks like maybe that helped to dull things down a little bit, and there's less glare. And I have moved my lights and the camera around a bit, so maybe that'll help. Yep, but here is A, B, C, D for sprues, and a foot that came off as I was drying it. So we're going to start with number 1, and that's the left leg. Always, I thought, because they always start with the left leg. It's a very fine place to start. And that's parts 13, 14, 5, 6, 15. Okay, so that's looking at your sprue, 13, 14. Pretty straightforward now. But I mentioned on the description that there is a lot of detail on this. This is a pretty nifty kit, to be perfectly honest. It does have some fantastic pre-molded detail, and probably, honestly, and almost enough that you don't even need to do any freehand scribing to detail things. There's enough. There are a couple panel lines on here, joins that you might want to deepen a little bit, uh, just to get some extra detail. And I will be on this one. 5 and 6, 3, no, 5 and 6 right there. There's a trick with this one. These outer panels connect through the center of the leg. So the leg actually needs to be assembled first, which makes it good for painting if you want to get really detailed and get the inside of all of it, because some of these things will be visible. And then 27 and 26. Which is the foot that came out? 29, boo. We're going to put that aside then. 27. And 26. Now, like the EXS stream, I am not going to go through and do the C-clips or other customization on the feet. This is going to be just a straight build per the instructions on this. Customization and stuff will come afterwards. And I think it may be worth doing that. Okay. So here we go. We've got our two pieces of the leg, but our foot goes inside. And we do need to do a bit of cleaning up. So get the trusty X-Acto knife out and trim a little. I'm not going to do a whole lot of this. Any trimming I do is just going to be to help facilitate the assembly. As always, I highly suggest with any artifact, do your initial assembly first. Dry fit it all, as we would say, to make sure that it all works. You've got an idea of what's going on and can take a look at the parts to see what needs to be trimmed, like what pegs might need to be trimmed, what gaps there are. So unfortunately, this guy does have a fair number of gaps between parts. Okay, and a little bit of scraping here. All right, that's pretty good. Back together. So where's the foot going to connect? Right here. So it's going between these two parts and looking at it. Peg, slot. Easy, but this is easy to break, so be careful when you're putting it in. There's that. And put it the correct way, dude. So see, again, like I said, there are lots of space, a lot of space between these parts. So you're definitely going to want to trim down the pegs on the inside, and also, even though you're going to need to fill gaps, there are seam lines there. So, which leads to the point of these two outer sections. We'll put them in and see what happens. There we are. So thinking about detailing, gluing, painting especially, this one's going to be kind of a bummer. What I might do and might suggest would be to do your gluing on all of this, except these parts, so just the inner part of the leg. Get all your seams taken care of, get that nice, and there's a point here that might fit a 0.5. Get that detailed assembled before you prime. Prime the inside of these outer deals, and then stick it to the leg and prime everything. That way you'll have any part of this inner section that's covered by this won't get primed, unfortunately. For detail people like me, we are going to want to prime them separately because you can see up into the leg. So choice is yours. Do this section by itself, paint it by itself, and then these. But you're going to want to take your time, try a couple fits to make sure that once they're ready to go, you can just stick them in and glue. And gluing painted parts is a bit of a challenge. So this one, I might actually recommend doing a base priming of black. Like do all of all these individual parts as black. That way you can go through, and once you've done any sanding and detail work that you want to do, you can put your other color prime, whatever color prime you want, and have everything up underneath in here be dark and look good, look like it belongs. Okay, so we got out our 1 millimeter God hand scraping tool, and yeah, that's going to be too much. So you need to be really careful putting this together. Don't get glue spooging up in there. This one, even now, is a bit tight. So not sure what to tell you. Just be careful, because these are areas where you could easily lose your definition. I suppose if you have, well, let's take a look, thicker scribing tools, you could go in and clean up. And this is here's my 0.2 chisel that I use for things like my GW models. So yeah, a 0.4 would probably work pretty well to clean this back part out. And maybe a 0.2 for that. Also works really well for these big guys here. Let's put this down. Maybe we can see better. There we go. So as I was saying earlier, there's really nice pre-molded relief detail on there. And then if you want to be froggy and scribe around your panels, you can do that too. It's fairly easy. They're thick enough to guide well, which I was having trouble with that on the Stark Jiggin that I'm doing as my little personal project. So, leg number 1 done. Left leg done. Getting back to it. Pulling this out. Boop, boop. Doo, doo, doo. Oh. I need to message someone. I don't know if you can hear that, but I think my oldest boy just had a very good potty visit, and he's happy about it and telling the world. You all right, Kaz? That's Doomlord Kazakh. Any old Burning Crusade players might recognize the name. We got him as a feral 2-month-old kitten, and he was quite the hissy, talky boy at the time. He was kind of a little doom lord. He was not happy. And okay. All right. So looking at the legs, there is a piece that I did not put in, and that's these little suckers right here. Parts 15 and 16. They're absolutely teeny tiny and go up in here. I want to be able to get into this area for now. So those are going to be put into the box and glued on probably near the very end. Definitely after any of these gaps are filled and things. Just I have found following my own problems, keeping these tiny parts on sprues is the safest thing for me so I don't lose them. But I did want to point that out as well. It's definitely a pain point. I dropped one on the floor one time, and oh boy, that was fun. Having to wash the floor and get the mop out on the floor again just to find a little piece was a little irritating. But it's never a bad thing to clean your room, right? Clean your floor. All right, now where we are at 28. I'm rushing. There it is. Okay. That's done. So again, which one has our peg? Okay. The top. And you're okay. In you go. Oh my goodness gracious. Sometimes these parts don't want to cooperate. I can only imagine how much editing the folks who do videos, pre-recorded videos of the assembly of these things have to do to cut out all the time they spend fiddling with these small bits to try and get them in. That's not wanting to go. There we are. That's not going to want to come out. We'll make it come out. Okay. So there's the socket for that. In we go. Cover up. Cover up. Boop, boop, boop. And again, like a lot of these, they're at an angle. So they stand up straight. Anything else to think about while I'm looking at it here? Oh, someone just messaged me. Who is this? Hey, Chris. Welcome, my regular viewer. Okay. So those are pretty well taken care of. Back to this. And you're like that. Are we? And you're like that. And set. Leg number 2. Look at that. Good gracious. Okay, so this this sticker is, oh, look at that. This sticker is about the same scale, same size as the artifact. Oh boy. I should write to the folks down there at that place, be like, hey, did you know? All right, now one of the fiddly bits, the gun. And this guy is really thin. So fun fact, Chris, once this is done, the next 2 in the series are the red ones. We've got the clear color ones to build, so that's going to be an interesting thing. And there goes any collector value for my kits, but it'll be worth it. Okay, and then this gun goes in the arm. $35, $33. I suppose I could take the orange ones apart and just rebuild those, but I think it might be kind of fun to hear me screaming and struggling while trying to do the mostly clear parts from the sprue build like I'm doing here. Okay, and then 36 and 38. 36 and 38. And just to check, okay, so the hand for this arm is already sculpted to the gun, and we've got another tab with T. If you want to get fancy, you can cut this part off and just slip the gun in and out of the arm for priming and detail painting. Things to think about on the gun. There are, I would say on this, don't try to get too fancy with some of these panel lines, the joins. If you're going to scribe, stick to the ones that are pre-molded, just enhance them. The rest of this, these are kind of delicate. And you could easily screw up, which I did. Okay, so we're going to take first put the gun together. Hey, would you please try typing in YouTube? I just want to test the chat function. I don't know if you're watching it on your phone or on your computer. I want to make sure that the chat function is working properly. Oh yeah, the other point. Okay, so looking here, there, golly, it's hard to see. Okay, there we are. There's another tab and slot like there was on the EXS. This side piece fills in that slot, so don't trim that off. You may need to trim some of these other attachment pegs. Actually, there's only the one, isn't there? So no, don't need to. Both of the tabs, the pegs for this gun, fill in holes, one here at the end and one here at the front. They fill in holes in the gun itself. So unless you're feeling really, really, really froggy, you're better off just not trimming those. Now, this connection point, this seam is a pain in the butt. Yeah, have fun fixing that. And this too, there's a gap between the two parts. There's not one here and there. I don't know if that's something you out there in YouTube land are when you're building this. Hey, there we go. I see that. Didn't hear any notifications, but I saw the hello. I'm glad to know that it works. That'll be another detail point that honestly is probably worth just ignoring given how far down it is and that the rest of these are curved. That's going to be really difficult to clean and tidy up. But the rest of this, nice flat, but it's big. So having little bitty sanding sticks and things like these two guys, a triangular one and then your 1 mil, can really get in there nicely to clean up. And, oh, we had two, but now we only have one. 36 and 38. All right, so looking at our arm pieces. Our hand, because it's on a tab, goes in here. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay. What are you? What's your problem there, buddy? Let's do a quick test here. I can't blame there being release agent on these today because that should definitely be cleaned off. Okay. Now, you go like that. Yes, we fit in like this. This definitely is going to be a part where you want to cut that little tab off so you can get in and clean and paint and all of that. Oh, my gracious. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Okay. There's that orientation there. You are like this and like that. Is this correct? What the heck? Are we going in sideways? I think we might be. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm glad I worked this through. So there's a little tiny tab slot for one of these guys on the inside of this. So it fits somewhat like that. And that's going to make that tricky. Yeah, these instructions on Series 1 are not the best. I'm really looking forward to getting to Series 2 to get away from to get to the better, more well done instructions. Please work. Please work. There we go. Okay. Here we are. And more gaps. Unfortunately, we might be able to sand this down a bit. This part's connecting well. You can sand that down, possibly get slightly better connection. But see back here, They're molded together well there, but not here in front. And the same thing with down here. So still, again, beautiful kit, but it's going to take a lot of effort. All right, now 34, 35, the shoulder parts. I believe you're going to go together like this. And you fit in like that. Okay, so we have our part with the tab. This one is part 35. The gun goes facing downward when you're putting them together. There is a nice mold for it. But again, actually, in this case, I would just go ahead and glue that in and not even worry about it. Get your detailing done. Now you do have a lot of empty space in there. So priming black, again, is our good friend. And you could prime the inside first and then assemble them, which I think I'm going to try. Because I know on the Nightingale, there's some parts in the, excuse me, the Byarlant Custom may have a part or two like that. Okay, now we're going on to the right arm, which is the one with the shield. Hopefully this will be a little bit faster. $39. And 40. And then the hand. Clip out the hand because the chat ain't listening. Put that on the instructions there. Shield time. This is such a neat shield. I like it a lot. But it will require some repair work. Because again, the gate, there is no gate. It is literally molded right up to the sprue. So expect, even with God hands, to have to do some repair work on that shield. But it's worth it. This is a really neat model. And the inner. Okay. Part 9 on the inner section of the shield right here, this lower part, which is right here, connected to the sprue, is not gate. That is part of the part. Don't cut off here. Cut right down at the joint of the sprue. Otherwise, you're going to end up losing a bit that you can actually see. And boy, it's going to be a bit tricky once we get to series 2, 3, and 4. I don't have duplicates to be able to do a little pre-building and taking notes. So we might end up not doing sprue cuts, doing an assembly. Okay, first things first, let's go ahead and get these out of the way. And again, these little tabs here are part of the part. They fit in to this slot on either side here. So don't cut them off. Even if you're gluing, they fill in a section. What the heck? There we go. So there we are. Popped right into that. Sits nice and snug. And then again, this on the outside. Looking at your part, you've got no detail on one side, detail on the other. Detail goes out. Now we're going to see here in just a second if this is something that's going to need to be glued. All right, and then see here, right there, that's the part I was talking about, that little nub. That's what you don't want to cut off of the end of this part. Or maybe you do. Maybe you don't like the look of it. Then you can go ahead and cut it off. Just make it just a plain shield. I don't know, is that a gun or some sort of weapon? And then the arm. The hand is going to be finicky. So got our pin sets out. 39, 40. All right, so we have part 39 facing towards us. And the hand is going to go in. Oh boy. Here we are. That could have been a problem. And the hand's going to go in facing this way because this is the shoulder connects perpendicular. So that's that. That's how it's going to go. So we put our part there. Grab the other half of our arm. Very carefully. All right, that's in, that's in. Beautiful. And the hand does rotate. Yay, that's good. So you can glue it in whatever orientation you want. Pain points on here. There are your tabs for your shield. Don't really need to worry so much about detail here if you're not super invested in getting your details. But this, again, another gap you'll need to work on. Yeah, pretty much that. The relief detail on this, fantastic. There's no need to do any serious work on that. There will be plenty of opportunity for the shade and panel liner to fill in. But we both know, Chris, that I'm going to do it anyway, right? Answer in the comments. Is Phil going to scribe these details even though he says they don't really need to be done? Yes or no? If you answer correctly, I'll give you the mug of cocoa I got in game the other day. Okay. There we are. Now, look at how bad this all fits together. It's just an awful fit. So here's a suggestion on this arm. Go through and do the C-clip like I've talked about. If you're coming in fresh and have never seen any of my videos before where I talked about C-clips and don't know about C-clips on artifacts, I'll show you real quick if I can get them apart easily without breaking anything. I'm not sure that's going to work out very well. My natural part separators aren't working. There we are. Okay. So on this part, once I'm done with this, when I go back through to detail, I'm going to cut this part out so you can slide it in and out. Because this shoulder is going to need to be glued, fully assembled and glued first. It's just not fitting together as it should. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm putting it in the wrong way. I am not. I am putting it in the correct way. That fits. Cat hair. Well, that's a little bit better than it was before, but it's still very, very uneven. All right, so telling the difference between the front and back. Again, the back, just like the EXS, does not have as much detail as the front. Pretty easy, even I can figure it out. Now, we put our shield on. Oh my gosh. Just like that. We've got our shield arm. with all this lovely detail in there. And yes, I'm going to say make sure that you're painting the shield separately from the arm for sure, because that's a beautiful piece of detail that you can see. And there we are. Putting it back on top of our sticker there. Almost done. Look at that. That's so funny. That cracks me up that they're so similar. Now the sticker's a little bit smaller. Okay. Now the head. I'm not going to do the head. So again, that's a part that I'm going to leave on the sprue until I'm ready to do the detail work on this. But it's another 3-part head. And let's see, where's the EXS? Oh, he's over here. So when I was filming the video for the EXS, this is going to be really hard to see on camera. The crest on the head for the EXS, I said was really thick, and there are some lines, detail parts up underneath here that would make it fairly easy to trim. Like that's like the wing of a paper airplane versus this crest, which is nice and streamlined. Even then, it has a line. What do you want to call it? Is that a mold line, or is that like actual molded? Looks like an actual molded detail part. But if you want to trim it down even more, there's a mold line relief detail that you could just slice that and make it even more streamlined. Now that I say that, they're about the same. This one just looks more streamlined. But yeah, that head is a really tiny little piece, and there's a nice thick lip around here. You can cut that off so you can socket the head in and out for painting. 2 parts, left and right, go on either side here. Highly recommend gluing them on, doing it first. Make sure that they're all assembled first. That's a point of recommendation. All right, so we have, lucky us, look at that. All of the small sprue bits we want to keep on sprue are on the same sprue. So that's going to go in the box where they stay safe. Okay, now we're going to go to skirt 17, 18, 19. Now they're starting to get it. 17, 18, 19. What can I say about this? Not much. They're pretty good. Is that somebody knocking at the door, or is that a cat knocking on the edge of the litter box? Yeah, we just got new closed boxes. They were making too much of a mess of their bathroom downstairs. So the missus got some closed boxes with doors, and now you can hear them punk, 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 punk on the edge of it after they do their business and start burying things. All right, let's look at this part first. If you want to get a little extra detail on these, you can, but there's enough relief on them that you really don't need to. You might want to scrape it down a little bit before putting the parts in. But other than that, we're in good shape. Now there are going to be spaces between these parts and the outside of here. Where's my toothbrush? And I think when I put this together on the other one, I did trim this bigger peg down because I glued them in right away. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Those may not come out. I may not be able to get that out. Thankfully, that fit in very snugly. But as you can see, there's a gap around all of that. You might be able to work it so it looks like it's a molded seam line. Like put your mold line, your panel lines, panel line down in there. But personally, I'm not sure that's going to work all the way because these parts up here also have gaps. And I haven't figured out what the best option for that would be. Where's my sandpaper here? Just a moment. Alrighty. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you later on. Take care. And that part is done. 42, 41. I don't even know what that would be called. Stabilizer? Or just another cool design element. With as industrial as some of these pieces look with their pistons and everything, I'm kind of hard to tell what it is without knowing or having seen the mecha in the show. Okay, so pain points. Trim the pegs. There is a big gap. And again, another one of those semi-hollow parts. You got that thruster there, but the 1 mil, the oh my goodness, I'm so tired today. The 1 mil spin blade should be able to fit in there. Not sure about that. There's also one up in here that's fairly shallow and not evenly molded. This is going to go on the back like that. So some of these things are definitely going to be visible from the rear. If you can, here you go. So it's going to attach to the back pretty much like that. So you'll be able to see that, that, and that if you look closely enough. But otherwise, it's not bad. Other than those things, all the major problems, it's a pretty good piece. That's that one done. Now the wings. Oh boy, the wings. So 44, 51, 47, 44, 47, 48, 51. Thankfully, most of these are on one sprue. Okay. That goes there. Oh my goodness. And that goes there. And there we are. This, there is a slight circular indentation and an oblong indentation here. And of course, they have these big seam lines running through the middle of them. They are not fun to clean or fill. And then this guy right here, there's a gate mark on either side. Points of interest on these thrusters. The detail here is molded inconsistently. Some sections are 0.1 all the way up to more than 0.2. So that's bad mold job on that. If you've got a big enough scrapping tool to eventually work up to the full width, lucky you. Otherwise, yeah, the rest of these around here, they're worth ignoring. They're deep enough that you're still going to get good uh, panel liner contact with them. You would just want to clean the sections where their glue smudges out and all that. It's these relief details here and here that are going to be the real pain. $44.51. 51 right. And just a tip, cut these lower ones out first if you do cut directly from the sprue, so you don't have stress while doing that and potentially cause damage. And 44. we are. On here, there is a little tiny knob. Yeah, any Brits watching this may get a laugh out of that little tiny knob. Little tiny tab that is a part of this and lines up with a slot right here. So you want to be careful when you're cleaning these. That's how you know they line up. And looking at it, see there's a big gap. Again, that tab, trim that down. You don't really need much of that. I would keep some even if you're gluing, just to make sure you've got good structural integrity. But it does need to be trimmed down even so. Okay. R is on the tab here. R is on the tab here. They just slot in. Now I can't remember which one of these doesn't fit as well as the other. I think it's this one. Doesn't quite fit as nicely as the other. And be careful. Take your time. These little guys can break off or bend, deform. Yeah, this, for some reason, this one looks like it doesn't go where it is, but it's in the right place. Now, it could be these guys here. So there are 3 mold injection points, or I don't know if those are even spacers. I can intentionally put in there to space, but I'm going to trim them down. Scrape them down a bit. Where's my other scraper? I wouldn't be at all surprised if these were intentionally sculpted to be spacers and even out the part, and that I'm modifying them in such a way that it's not going to be functioning as well, but I'm going to be gluing it, so it doesn't really matter that much to me. There we go. They fit in there better now, but there is still quite a bit of gap. And there's really not much to be done about it. Probably just trim these down. But I'm not going to yet. We're just going to leave it. This is a no to low modification assembly today. 53, 54, 55. With the part oriented in this direction. $53 goes there. 54 is in the middle. And 55 is on the out. $53, $54, $55. Again, And other parts that are going to need some cleaning up because they're molded directly to the sprue. Okay, here's our orientation. There's our one closest to the thruster. So it goes in. And now we can pull it out. We have our reference points, 53, 54, 55. I'm not sure why I'm repeating that so many times. I believe these are molded all exactly the same way, but for some other reason, I seem to recall there being weirdness when I did the other one. All right, there we go. And that's that. We're actually, oh, I was going to say we're actually almost done, but no, we still got the torso to do. Another one to build. So yeah, these next two build streams are going to be the special color ones. Candy red, cherry red, candy apple red. Okay, there we go. There's that one. So let's see if we can get through this other one a little bit faster. I don't usually like doing speed builds, but a 2-hour stream and we're already at an hour and 15. So 2 hours to build one of these things without any sort of detail work. That's a bit of a long time for my poor brain to be talking. Here we are. Oh, goodness. But it's February 2025. That means we're one day closer to Series 5 coming out, and I'm looking forward to some of those. There are some neat ones in there. I can't wait to get onto the Zaku's. In Series 2, Phase 2. Well, I mean, Phase 2, we've got the full armor, which is already fully assembled. The Thunderbolt, the GM Thunderbolt, which is kind of assembled. The Dom Tropin, which is fully assembled. Zaku 3, which is the clear green, so that's still in its bag. And then the Assault Buster, which would have been assembled, except I lost the torso, so I've got 2 of those to build. And Matt, if you're watching this and you like the Assault Buster Gundam, we may be able to work something out. Okay, let's not do that. I would rather do something from Series 5, though. And again, shout out to Dad Gunpla Life. I haven't done my shout outs lately. He does some really fun live builds like I do, only he's got people who talk and is engaging and does full size kit builds and reviews of things. Okay, so this is in which direction? Again, the little tab. Make sure you don't screw it up too bad. That's, yeah. Okay, close enough. All right, now here's our orientation. Left, left, pop. They did it a little bit differently this time. So this one's sticking out here. $56. 57, 58. So 56 is on the inside, 58 is on the outside. And 56, 57, 58, sprue D. They do look like they're all molded, sculpted identically. Probably don't have to worry. More than likely can go ahead and do the usual YouTube social media thing of just cutting every part out and putting it together like a puzzle, like a crazy person. There we go. Okay. Empty sprue. In the empty sprue bucket. Empty sprue into the bucket. There we are. I don't know why, but the left hand, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it. Yeah. These are definitely put in there to create friction. But it also causes problems with the gaps. I'm sure for the folks who want to push fit model and not worry about gluing it, that's a good thing. So I'm glad they did it. However, I want to glue so I'm going to thin them down just a bit. There we go. That fits better. And I will be right back. Got to use the bathroom. All right, that is done. That's the other wing. Now, the torso. I seem to recall there being something about this that we need to keep in mind. All right. The front and back and arms. All right, so this is one where the arms slot in. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, also here, where it connects to the sprue, is a real pain. You're going to have to do some repair work here. Unless for some reason you are exceptionally skilled with nippers, and don't damage the part. But these things on either side here, it's very challenging to not cause damage. Which means ultimately that you're going to want to assemble the torso individually and glue the arms in. Unless you're okay with, unless your goal is to not glue, then don't glue. And be very, very, very careful. I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure I've seen somebody do it. And the torso has little C-clips already, kind of, sort of. The shoulder mounts are a little clippy, so the arms stay in there nicely, which is lovely. And there we are. Matt, color separation on this, absolute crap. But hey, the articulation's okay. I can move the arms and the hands and the head. So how about that? I wonder if you can go a stream and not mention color separation and articulation, where I do a stream and don't mention the relief detail and scribing. That's nigh impossible on both sides of the equation. Okay. Looking at here again, just the way it fits. Nasty, nasty seams. I highly recommend taking the arms out and trimming down that tongue and just gluing them in. That way you can put this together and avoid these really terrible seams, because that's not just the peg. All right. There. And I just remembered what the thing is that I wanted to remember about this. There are two little hip parts, 21 and 22, that need to be attached, but they have to go in after the legs, and they get a bit fiddly when the arms are on. So keep an eye out for that. And then this part there. And parts 25, 30, and 31. And if you folks who may be watching this in the future, write in the comments if you would like to see me do streaming of the detail work, the gap filling, and all of that kind of stuff that I do. Or if you would rather see it in somebody else's videos that are a little bit more polished. All right, yay, we have one tiny little bit of gate right here. Oh, nope, that just popped off the sprue on its own. Okay, there we go. This needs to be fixed. Here we are. Okay, close enough. All right, so point of note, there is sculpted detail right here. It's a little, oh, we can't see. It's a little V. And the rest of this, if you want to get fancy and kind of clean it out, there's option in plastic to do that. Somebody's on patrol. Hey, Kaz. Kaoru's on the bed. Older brother does not like his younger brother. Younger brother, Kaoru, joined the family when Kaz was 8 already. And Kaoru was 4. So having a prime age adult cat that had been in the foster system for 3 of his 4 years, meeting a cranky senior cat that was well established in a home was interesting. Okay. Kaoru means well. He just liked to play, and Kaz didn't want to have anything to do with it. Alrighty, so we do legs. Arm, arm, legs, legs. I'm sure the Japanese here is saying, let's see. I can't read the kanji. Can I read this? 23と24では意味や漢字 So that's probably saying put the legs on first. Please put the legs on first. And I give myself a little bit of grace. It's been 12 years now since I've lived there. Okay, now put we're going to put these on first. Okay, and here's a point. This is not a round hole. The hole itself is round, but there's a piece of plastic in there making it D. So there's a flat edge, and there's a flat edge on here. Tells you which side it goes on, which is lovely. Okay, where are my regular tweezers? Here they are. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I should have thought of this ahead of time. I remember this being a right pain. Well, that wasn't as bad as I thought. And the same thing with this other one. It's got a flat edge, and the peg has a flat edge to make sure that they go in on the right side, the correct side. And at the correct orientation, so don't force it. This is a peg that'll break, and the parts will slide on there easily if there is access, easy access. All right. Now, which way are we facing? We're facing towards me. And this guy goes downward. The instructions. This faces down and is going to enter from the rear. There we go. And I'm sure YouTube's probably flagged me for saying something about entering in the rear, but oh well. All right, then we take 25. Let's see if I can at least make this work a little bit. Or am I wrong? I am being wrong. Okay. I was incorrect there. I don't know why I thought that. That really? That does not. Seem like it should be going there. Maybe it's because this part goes in front. That's why. Okay. So this is front armor, front skirt. Slips in just like that. There's a little tab for the little slot. just like always. And then this part with the V on the upper side. How did this go in last time? Slots in like that. And there we go. So that should technically hold it together. And then our rear skirt that we assembled earlier. This goes on the inside toward the body into that slot. And our piece here, there are two slots, not slots, but bits of plastic that are sculpted in that fit between. These are tabs that fit in the slot and the top of that. Goes in like so. There we are. Now that's a pretty delicate connection and is easy. These will come out easily. Glue, 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 glue. Unless you intend to just let it sit there and never touch it again, then by all means, don't glue. But if you are going to be playing with them or moving them around at all, or are just not sure about their security, I suggest glue. And then we have our next part here, our crane attachment. There. Right wing. Goes there. Left wing goes there. And we will pretend that this is the head. But there we go. Okay, and again, the wings and everything, this is delicate. Definitely a delicate figure. But it's done. That's our High New done in 1 hour and 39 minutes. I think I'll probably paint one in this color scheme, but let me know what I should paint the other one in. I'm kind of thinking that since these are going to be for a game, all of the Gundam, the actual Gundam, not just Federation, will be done in a similar color scheme, maybe a white, maybe a gray base with various colors on them. So let's look at what we did today versus what we did yesterday, my time, in the last stream. That's not going to sit well. And then the very first one, the Rick Diaz. Look at that. How exciting. The first 3 of 5 Series 1, Phase 1, what do they call it? They don't. They just call it 1, 2, 3. Phase 1, Series 1 are assembled. One is painted. The others are not going to be painted for some time. There there we go. These are such cool little kits. Very, very, very cool little kits. And now that they're sitting next to each other, now that it's done, this thing's kind of growing on me, these wings. I don't know, though. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, so before we do that, I'll give you your preview for what will probably be tomorrow, my time. Number 4, Nightingale, red. That's going to be a pain and a half to do on stream. Give me just a second. I'll be right back. So let's see. Do I want to do this in super hard mode and have a nice red? Or do we want to do the... Is this glued? I don't think it's glued. Doesn't look like it's glued. Yeah. Everybody likes hard mode, right? We'll go ahead and do the assembly of the red kit tomorrow. And little tiny piece. Stay where you want to go. So thank you very much for watching. I have been Phil, the miniature model maker. We have completed the high new Gundam Artifact Series 1 Model 3, and we'll be moving on to Series 1 Model 4, the Nightingale, in our next stream. And thank you for watching. And this is, just remember, this is a hobby. If it doesn't bring you any joy, don't do it. Thank you for watching and be good to yourselves. Bye-bye.